My name's Haley.
My name's Pat. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What brings you to the Moorhead Treatment Facility today?
Been battling a problem with drug use, and my family and I had an intervention recently, and they kind of urged me to come here, and that's why I'm here.
Do you feel that you personally want to make a change in your life, just despite your family trying to get you in treatment?
I wanted to make a change for myself to become a better person, but at the same time, I think my family has a lot to do with it. I very deeply respect their opinions, and I want to do this to make them proud.
Okay. All right. Here at the Moorhead Treatment Facility, we're all about fairness and confidentiality. You will be treated just like anybody else here. You will. There will be no reason that your confidentiality should be violated. Only in the case that there is harm brought to my attention that you are going to make to yourself or to another individual, or the abuse of a child or a vulnerable adult is brought into the situation where I will have to contact them, or in the case of a court order. The records will be released as a subpoena to the court system. You will sign off on that. Do you have any questions about that?
No, I think I understand.
Okay. All right. My main role as a counselor is for you to be honest with me. If you have issues, if you're having trouble, if you're struggling with your addiction, and you don't feel like you're getting the best treatment, I want you to be honest with me so we can adjust your treatment plan to get you the best help we can. But if you're not honest with me, I'm not going to be able to provide that. So even if you mess up and you come in and you've used drugs, I would rather you be honest with me about that than lying to me and then wasting your time here. So can I get your word on being honest with me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to get some information about you. Your name is Pat, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And how old are you, Pat?
I am 35 years old.
Okay. Are you married?
No, I'm not.
Have you ever been married?
I've been almost married. I had a couple of real long relationships, but they didn't work out.
Okay. Do you feel like that's led you to using drugs, thinking about that, being alone, or anything?
I don't think so. I mean, I do pretty good on my own, other than the drug use, of course, but I don't think it has an impact, no.
Okay. Tell me about how you came to this point in your life when you've resulted to using drugs.
So, I guess it all started with my car crash.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That was about 10 years ago.
Okay.
I wrecked my truck into a tree, driving like a maniac, obviously, and I broke a couple vertebrae in my back. Been struggling with it ever since. Doctor prescribed me Oxycontin to help with the pain, but after a year or so, it didn't do very much anymore.
Were you taking your medicine as prescribed, or was you overindulging, or?
I'd say for the first year or so, I was taking it as prescribed. There would be a day or two when I would forget, but for the most part, I was taking it as prescribed.
Okay. Did you ever find yourself taking more than one pill at a time, or trying to dull down the pain?
I would say after the first year and a couple months, they didn't do as much as they used to, so I started taking 2, maybe even 3 at a time.
Okay. Do you feel like that's affected aspects of your life, such as work and school?
I think so, yes. After the Oxycontin, it was just anything that I could get my hands on that could make my back stop hurting. And because of my back, I think it just numbed my body to the drugs. And I couldn't find a job because I couldn't stay on my feet very long. So I just got down in the dumps. It made it 10 times worse.
So after being prescribed the OxyContin, have you indulged in other prescription medications that's not been prescribed, or have you resulted in using other drugs?
I mean, after the OxyContin stopped working, stopped doing what it was supposed to do, I knew a guy that sold Percocet, and he slipped me one. The first one's free, and I'd been doing that for a couple years at least.
And have you had any other drug related?
Yes. I would say after the Percocets is when I really decided that I needed to look for a job, and I was having no luck. I was trying every place I could think of. Unemployment companies they weren't helping out. I was short on cash and short on hope, and I started to get depressed and think about things that weren't supposed to be thought about. So went back to the doctor, told him how I felt, and got prescribed Xanax. And then,
do you feel like that helped you, or do you feel like that put you on a path of more destruction?
I guess at first I thought it helped me, but then after that, after a month or two, it was just something else that I can take.
And are you using any other form of drugs?
Yes, I'm using heroin at the moment.
Are you still using prescription medications along with the heroin, or have you quit using prescription medication to use heroin more?
I haven't been taking pills as much. As I couldn't find a job, I don't have much cash. The heroin's cheap and it gets me high.
Okay. Do you ever experience any kind of behavior problems, mood swings, anxiety, maybe being irritable? Do you ever feel withdrawal from the heroin or prescription medication?
The heroin's bad. A couple days and it's just eating me alive. My family says that I get real irritable when I'm not using.
Do you feel that you're irritable, or do you feel that they're just putting the blame on you, that they're just putting that in your head?
I feel like they blow it out of proportion, but at the same time, small things start to make me mad after a while, and it's just gets hard.
Okay. Do you ever feel like your behavior problems or issues make you have racing thoughts about using again, using heavier, using more often?
I can say I guess I've thought about using heavier, but as of anything else, I haven't really had too much problems.
Okay. Is there anything that I need to be aware of as a counselor, culturally, ethnically, religiously, and any physical issues that you may be facing or that you're associated with, that I can be more compliant with you and be able to provide you the better treatment?
I guess physically, obviously, with my back, I'm still trying to work through that, and I used to be avid. I'm a Christian, but I fell out of it when I started going down the wrong path. I don't think it would affect anything, but I would just like to get back into it if possible.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some more questions about the past and your history, okay? As a child, did you ever face any kind of failing grades in school, or lying, or stealing, or I know that the car accident was the first incident that you really got associated with drugs. But was there ever a time in your adolescence that you might have tried alcohol or overindulged in alcohol, or?
Yeah, I overindulged in alcohol in high school. As just a typical jock high schooler who thought he knew it all and had to party with the big ones.
Okay. Do you feel like that has normalized your views on drinking or using drugs because of your perspective when you had it as an adolescent?
I would say that it made it easier, less of a moral dilemma, because I was used to breaking the rules. I didn't have to ask myself why as much.
Okay. All right. We're going to talk about maybe about your family history. Okay. Is there anybody in your family ever faced suicide, or ever even close relatives been associated with substance use?
My uncle was an alcoholic. He went through that. It was really hard. I guess he would be in, recession is what you would call it. And I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head.
Okay. Who do you rely on most for support? Do you live at home? Do you live on your own?
I live on my own. Not necessarily in the best circumstances, but I would say my mom and my dad, I depend on them a lot.
Okay. Do you feel like they are a supportive system for you that will help you get the best treatment here, or do you feel like they will lead you away from getting treatment, the best treatment you can receive?
I feel like they'll be supportive as long as I stick with it.
Okay.
And if I don't do this, then I don't know what they'll do.
Okay. Have you ever had any legal problems? Have you ever have you a history of arrest or on probation?
No. Got in a fight when I was younger, back in my 20s, at a bar, and the cops came, but nothing did. The other man didn't press charges, and that's about as close as I've came.
And was you overindulging in alcohol at the time?
I was pretty heavily drunk.
Do you feel like in times that you use or abuse substances that you get irate and get worked up? Do you feel like that is the case in a lot of situations, or in just that situation?
I wouldn't say a lot of situations, but definitely in that situation, and there's been other times, not as bad as that, but I wouldn't say it's a habit that I get irate.
Do you feel like your anger is an issue
that
you would like to focus on, or that you're worried about?
I don't feel like I'm worried about it, but I feel like that if I'm going through as much trouble as this to seek help for drugs, I might as well try to better myself.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about your alcohol and drug abuse again. I know that you were prescribed OxyContin after the wreck you had. did you ever use it before then, just to experiment or anything, or was you?
No, it was pretty much alcohol. The occasional marijuana, but I was just young and dumb at that point. So.
Okay. And you said you used that as prescribed for the first year, and then kind of started to go away and take it on your own more often.
You're talking about the OxyContin?
Yes.
Yes. I wouldn't call it exactly like a year. It's just a rough estimate, but around that time is when I started using it more.
Okay. And so then you got Percocets. You got on Percocets, correct?
Yes, I got Percocets from a friend of a friend, and he gave me the first one free, maybe the first one or two, I can't remember, and then after that it just got worse and worse.
And so then you resorted to using heroin. How often do you use heroin?
Probably once a day, maybe
Okay.
more.
Okay. When was the last time you used heroin?
I used heroin 2 days ago.
Okay. Are you under the influence right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay. And I want to bring up being honest again, because I know that it can be intimidating to open up to someone new, and you may feel that I may want to judge you, but this is why I'm here, and I'm here to get you the best treatment I can. So I want you to be honest with me, okay? Is there any other medication or substance that you are under the influence as of today?
No, I promise I've done as best as I can for the past 2 days.
Okay. Well, that's a good start. We'll start with that. So is the past 2 days the longest period of severity that you've had?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Have you ever went to another treatment facility or anything? Got treatment?
I went to I can't even remember the name of it. I was going through rehab.
Was it inpatient or outpatient?
It was outpatient.
Okay.
And I was trying, and the place and the people just weren't right for me, I don't think.
Okay. All right. What do you feel like we can do here differently than what you went through in the past at other treatment facilities? What are you looking for to get from this treatment facility?
I guess I didn't get along very well with the counselor. I felt he was pushy and judgmental.
Okay.
So I guess as long as that doesn't happen again, I should be able to do it.
Okay, and I just want to bring that up. If there's any time in your treatment that you don't feel comfortable talking to me, or feel that your confidentiality, or that you feel judged, and you don't want to come to me and tell me, or you want to seek another counselor at our facility, that is your right, and I will be more than happy to give you to someone else to better your treatment, because that's what we're here for. So if you feel better talking to a gentleman or another lady at your age, then that is up to you, and I hope that you will take advantage of that. So you're prescribed OxyContin. Do you keep that prescription up to date, or have you completely stopped taking it?
I pretty much completely stopped taking it.
Okay. What about the Xanax?
The Xanax as well. I don't take it.
Okay. So you don't take any prescribed medications anymore. I'm going to ask you some questions about weapons. Okay. This has to be completed by every patient that enters this facility, and just for their safety and others' safety. Okay. Do you have access to weapons, such as guns, knives, lethal medication? Do you have that view on self-harm of any sort?
No, I do not keep guns in my house.
Okay. So you do not own a gun.
I used to, but I sold it when I was lacking money, so I don't now.
So you said that you were living on your own.
Yes.
Correct. So there are no guns in your home. If you went to someone else's house, would there probably be guns at their home?
I'd say my parents' place.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad's an avid hunter.
Okay. Do you ever have suicidal intentions, or you feel that the Xanax, because you were prescribed Xanax for depression, correct? Do you ever feel suicidal, or when you were prescribed Xanax, did you feel suicidal?
I wouldn't say suicidal. I would say I was getting close.
Okay.
And I think that's what scared me into going to the doctor.
Okay. Do you have any concerns as of today of suicide intentions?
Not as of today, no.
Okay. Does your family? I know that we talked about them earlier about them being a support system. How high would you rate that support system?
On
Scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest.
I would say an 8.
Okay. Do you feel like they could improve on their support while you're in treatment if they were provided the resources?
I guess they could. They're just trying to help, but they go about it the wrong way sometimes.
Okay. Does that make you feel resistant to change? Or does that make you feel alone because they don't understand?
I guess in a way, they don't know what it's like, so it makes me it makes it harder for me to hear what they have to say, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that can be difficult. Have you ever had any kind of violence? I know that you got in a fight. Have you ever had any other kind of violence break out with anyone? Or aggression towards anyone, like your family? Because I know it can be difficult to understand where they're coming from because they want you to get better. Do you feel that you have aggression towards that situation or anything?
No, other than the fight, it was a long time ago. I don't think it's.
So you've not had any other aggression towards. Okay. Well, that's good. All right. Do you have any questions? Anything that you're concerned about, or anything that you want to gain from your experience here, or anything you want from me to maybe change, or?
I guess I have a. Are you going to be the counselor that I'll be seeing?
I can be. In this initial intake, I'm putting you on my caseload. But if you do not feel comfortable talking to me, I can find you another counselor. They won't have to go back through this. I will give them my documentation, and they will talk to you, and they will gather their own information the next time that you come in.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. You're doing great. I just didn't want to bounce around from counselor to counselor.
No, you will stay on on my caseload for the entire time, or until that you feel that you want someone else, or you're ready to advance to the next stage in your life.
Okay.
Okay. We will work our best, and I'll work my best to create the best treatment plan for you and try to get you the most successful treatment while you're here.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
It's nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting you, Haley.
Nice meeting you, Pat.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.